We'll see. There we are. Alright. Chuck that in general for everyone to be able to at least watch. And we'll get on with it. Who have we got leading the field around at the minute? God. I can't even see who it is. There we go. Apex. Can't even connect my other controller. Oh well. Is Tombo just parking it in the pits? Is that good enough? 56.9 out of Apex. There's the alien that we all know.
Yeah, he's put in 56 ones in practice, so he's still a bit of time off from that pole lap at the moment.
Yeah, he is.
Looks like the track is drying now, so we should see the time come down a little bit.
Yeah, it's still a quick time, tough to achieve, the 56.9s. So I doubt we'll be seeing too many of those throughout the rest of the divisions, but small, tight, technical track definitely lends itself to a couple of cars here.
Yeah, Scooter's just a 10th off Apex in that forward drive Mitsubishi Evo. As he rounds the last spin, we'll see what he posts.
Using all of the track available on the exit, and he goes a 57 flat, about a quarter of a second off. Ando goes up, Goat into first place now. There we go. The young prodigy.
Yeah, Goat's doing well in that Corvette. I mean, I had a bit of a go in the Corvette during midweek, and I found a little bit of a handful around here, a bit big and lunky.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't lend itself to the tight, twisty track, but I guess if you put enough practice in, you kind of get the handle for it. As the track slowly starts to dry out now as well.
Yeah, Apex has just come around the last corner now. See if he can improve, take that, and he doesn't.
No improvement from Apex. Ando and Dale are also coming around the final corner now. No improvement out of Ando, and Dale puts it into the wall beautifully.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to get out of the way of Ando there. Nice sportsmanship for Dale there.
Yeah,
sure
Dale
he doesn't compromise his lap.
He's actually gone out of his way to get over half an hour's practice today. So he got a full practice race in, did Dale, and then had about 20 minutes driving time. So he's more prepared than he has been this season.
Ando just catches the grass and puts it into the wall.
Very easy to do around here.
Got Fixer Chris down there in 4th. What's that, 1/1000th of a second, I believe?
Yeah, moves up to 3rd in my provisional standings. I don't know if someone... Goats left the track as the sun emerges from behind the clouds. Chris coming around that final corner now, approaching the line.
Oh, he goes first. 56.6. Great lap out of Chris there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful lap there. Good job. Barely edging out Goat there, and Apex sitting 3rd. I don't know how happy Apex will be. He does have the advantage of an all-wheel drive launch, though, off of that 2nd row. So...
yeah, they've only got 2 minutes left in this qualifying session, so they might be able to get one more flying lap in.
Keeping an eye on Apex as he rounds the final corner now, looking to improve out of that 3rd position in the recce. Using every bit of track available, and he goes with a 57 flat. And I've seen Goat is just 0.02 of a second ahead of Apex in times, so they are quite close together. And Apex taking this chance to swap to a set of intermediates.
Yeah, it looks like Apex is settling for, well, 3rd place at the moment if no one beats that time.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how many people decide to start on the inters and who tries to brave it out on the softer tyre. As we get a beautiful handbrake pull there out of DJ Stefko into turn 1, and we'll see everyone jump off the track and rapidly try and change their tyres by the looks of it. Got a couple of people who have left the pits. Haven't seen much from Tombo, unless he's just stuck there. He's kind of sitting halfway out of his pit box for me. Nice footage of Dale looping it around the middle of the track there as well. And we're away.
Yeah, it looks like some people have decided to stay on the soft tyre, and we know it's going to be a wet start. So interesting strategies there.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on board with Scooter here for the start with that all-wheel drive launch. Scooter has managed to jump up into 2nd, managed to get ahead of Goat as all the lights are gone and he's off the line.
Oh,
so much
Apex
wheel spin.
with an amazing start.
There's the intermediates for you as Apex goes absolutely flying through the field here. And goes from, I believe it was 4th all the way up to 1st in a matter of just seconds with the all-wheel drive launch in the intermediate tyre, and he is already out to a gap at the front of the field. Oh,
yes,
Ando getting a little bit of a bump from Tate there as well.
So there's guys that risked it all on the soft tyre. Zuzu's had some issues at the back there. He's got major damage. And it looks like Goat is redressing, so something must have happened between those two.
Yeah, I'm very interested to keep half an eye here on Tate as well in that Nissan as we see it pulling alongside Fixer Chris. And we saw the last Group 4 round how powerful that Nissan is in the straight line. Nothing Chris can do about it, just has to let him by.
Yeah, you've got the battle here between the forward drive car of Tate and that Nissan and the rear wheel drive car of Fixer Chris.
They have broken away from the field a slight bit. We've got the 2 shake and bake McLarens and then the Jag of Oil in My Blood just behind them as well. I believe I see the Sirocco of Stefko hanging about there as well, so still a very busy mid-pack here, and these guys will be wanting to do everything they can to keep up with those all-wheel drive cars that have run out to the front.
Yeah, it looks like that gamble for the guys on soft tyres is not paying off at all.
Yeah, not yet. Depending on how quickly the track dries out, they could save themselves a full pit stop though. I don't know how much it's going to get them back though. I'm not quite sure of the pit time around here.
Yeah, so we got Apex leading, and he's behind him. We've got Tate 2 seconds, and then we've got another 2 seconds to fix it. Chris in 3rd.
Yeah, Chris doing well to lead the rest of the field around with a nice 1.5 second gap back to Ando and Tombo, and I think Oily is right there with him as well.
Yeah, Ando and Tombo throughout the week have had some issues with their McLaren. They were complaining quite a lot, but it seems to be working quite good for them at the moment in the race, so I think they'll be happy with 4th and 5th.
Yeah, I definitely think they'll be very happy as we start to see that dry line form on the racing track here. So giving the soft tyre guys a bit to work with now as well, as I don't know who our soft runners are here, but Apex in off the inters after just 3 laps.
Yeah, so the first soft runner is Pure Axel down in 9th. He was 17 seconds behind the leader, Apex, so we'll see what happens here, if he can get past Apex as he rounds the last bend now.
Yeah, I don't see Apex leaving the pits just yet either. There he is, he's come out right in front of Pure Axel, so that gamble looks like it might have paid off for Pure Axel at the very least. I'm not sure about any of the other soft tyre runners, but Pure Axel is right there with Apex, both on some really nice sets of softs. I know that the wet running in the softs dramatically slows down how fast they wear away as well.
Yeah, Apex will be some cold soft tyres, so Pure Axel will try and make his warm softs count here. But
I think I
that
see
forward
someone
drive,
else going into the pits up ahead as well. Fixer Chris.
yeah.
Oh, plenty of people up ahead jumping into the pits. We've got Ando, KZ, Stefko and Chris all getting off the inters already. And that battle for second now, Tombo and Oily, they're side by side approaching turn one, so Oily with a beautiful move up the inside as they approach the infield section of the track here. And I'll be very interested to see how that McLaren does towards the end of the stint here, because I've seen it get a little bit wild once the rear tyres start to go.
So what do we think of Foyle? You reckon he might stay out on those inters until maybe 8 or 9 laps before the end, so he can jump on the softs? As this weekend the soft tyre is the compulsory tyre, so everyone needs to run the soft tyre.
I don't think he can run the inters for that long. His lap time last time around was a 1:02.1, which, although it's not a bad time, you definitely want to see a fair bit of time taken out of that lap as he's struggling to crack under the 1 minute mark. And if we have a look back at Apex Humper, he's just done a 57.6. So I think the best choice right now would be to pit and possibly two-stop the race. Pit now, get some fresh soft tyres on, and then pit at about the midway point and get another fresh set of softs.
Yeah, the only people who haven't stopped is Tate, who's out in the lead, 5 seconds to the good from Oil, My Blood, and we've got Apex chasing down Oil, who's 4.3 seconds up the road.
Yes, I believe Pure Axel has not pitted either, who's sitting in 4th. So Pure Axel's put himself in a good spot here on them soft tyres, but they will wear out a little quicker as Oily finally decides to jump into the pits and get off of those inters after 6 laps. So Tate staying out quite a while on those inters, maybe trying to put some of his drifting practice into use here in that all-wheel drive Nissan. As he is lapping in about the minute 1 range.
Yeah, that front left of Tate's car is definitely looking worse for wear now.
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky to keep them inters alive, especially with how quick the track is drying. They start to wear extremely quickly once the dry line forms, so he's definitely got to be moving across to either keep the tyres cool on the wet parts of the track, or he's got to get off of those inters as quickly as he can. He's going around again though. So, very brave decision there for Tate, trying to go longer on those tyres. Having a look back through the field, we've got Fixer Chris in 4th after his stop. I believe Zoo hasn't pitted and is up to 5th place on the road, with Ando and Goat not too far behind him.
Yeah, so Goat's another one that started on the soft tyre and he has not pitted, whereas Ando has pitted.
Yeah, so Goat and I believe Scooter just behind him were caught up in a bit of an incident on lap 1 somewhere, so they're trying to make up for that incident by the looks of it. And they're doing okay sitting about mid-pack, but I know both of them would want to be up quite a bit higher than they are at the moment.
Yeah, out up front you've got Apex right on the bumper of Tate now, and looks like Apex will be making that move into the last corner for first position as he goes up the inside of Tate. Tate can't really do anything on those intermediate tyres while Apex is on the soft tyre.
Yeah, with the amount of wear those inters will have on them by now, it looks like Pure Axel's going to have a look up the inside as well. There he goes. So maybe Tate just trying to keep them tyres alive till lap 10. I don't know if he's going to be able to push him to 15, but that's another option for him to try and get to the halfway point and then chuck on a set of softs. But I think we'll be seeing a set of softs sooner rather than later out of that Nissan.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's got to come in this lap, just losing way too much time on those inters.
Yeah, he does have about 7 seconds last time I had a look between himself and Fixer Chris, so he's got a little bit of time to work with, but I don't know if that's enough to hold out the charge.
Well, it looks like he's going around again. He is.
Okay.
So that 7 seconds is now down to 3.3, so dropping dramatically here.
Yeah, losing time very quickly. I think if he pits at the end of this lap, he could probably still make something of it, but it's definitely going to be a tough ask here.
I think he's thinking that if he can stay out there long enough, grab the soft tyre and make him last to the end of the race, he might be thinking everyone else might have to stop again.
Yeah, I feel a majority of guys here still have at least a stop to go, but I've also seen a couple of people run the full 30 laps on a set of softs, so there's plenty of strategy to play out here, and it's a big if whether the people that, if anyone decides not to stop again, if they can make up enough time to counteract the pit stop that everyone else is going to have to take. As Tate pulls to the inside and into the pits he goes. So he's finally called it at the end of lap 10. 20 laps on softs is quite a bit of an ask, but could be possible. And I believe we have DJ Stefko following him into the pits off their first set of soft tyres as well.
Surprising to see Zoo down in 4th position. He did have that coming together with Goat on the first lap and had engine damage and front aero damage, so to see Zoo up in 4th is great after that first lap incident. Yeah,
he's doing really well. Starting on them soft tyres has made up for the pit stop that a lot of guys starting on inters did have, even with the mistake from Zoo. And really showing the pace that he's got in that WRX is not as bad as he might have led on earlier on.
Yeah, and he's doing really well on his tyres because he hasn't stopped where his teammate Apex has, and the tyre wear is not that much different.
Yep, and for me, I have Tombo stuck in the pits, so I can't really report as to where Tombo will be throughout this race. I'm not sure if you have eyes on him there, Adam.
Unfortunately, Tombo is stuck in the pits for me as well.
There we go, so Tombo's finishing position will be a mystery. We'll have to wait and see where that ends up, but for the moment, we look to have a nice little battle for 4th going on with Zuzu and Ando.
Yeah, Endo on much fresher soft tyres.
Apex in again. Pure Axle in again. So these guys pitting a lot earlier than I would have expected out of them.
Yeah, I thought Pure Axle could have went a few more laps. The 4-drive car of Apex, his front tyres definitely caught a beating and were showing some wear.
Yeah, that was only about 9 laps out of Apex there. So I don't know how he's going to go. Maybe swap into a set of hards to run to the end. I'm not quite sure. But that's definitely an interesting call to see him in already.
Yeah, so he's on the hard tyre as well as Pure Axle is on hard tyre as well.
There we go. So looking to do, what's that, 17 laps on the hard tyre, which should be no problem. It all just depends on what everyone else decides to do. So I feel like Zoo is in a very strong spot at the moment. He could pit for... No, he's going to pit in, I think. Unless he's trying to break the slipstream. He is pitting. So I was going to say he could go to 15 and pit for a second set of softs. But he's decided to come in, as has Scooter behind them. So maybe the all-wheel drive car's really struggling too much with tyre wear to be able to manage that long on the softer tyre.
I tell you what, Ando down in second is in a really good position. He's got the best tyre wear out of the top three. He's on the soft tyre, so he might be able to go to the end here.
Yeah, I think Goat will be getting close to the point where he's going to want to pit. I think we'll see him in shortly if he hasn't already. I don't believe he's pit though. Could be splitting at 15-15 on the softer tyre, as I've been predicting. I expected to see more people do it, honestly. But like I said earlier, I guess those all-wheel drive cars struggling a little too much with tyre wear, as we see Apex lurking in the background of every panning shot we get here. So at the moment, we'll go for a quick run through the field. We have Fixer Chris leading us from Ando, who is 2 seconds behind, and Goat currently sitting in third place.
And behind Goat, 1.5 seconds is Oil in My Blood, and 5.2 seconds away from Oil is Apex Humper.
Yeah, not too far behind is Apex, only 12 seconds off the lead and going to the end, so could be very interesting. Just behind Apex we have Pure Axel in that Corvette as he rounds one of the trickier corners for me, one of the faster corners of the track, and very easy to run wide.
Yeah, then down in 7th position we've got KZ, 3 seconds off Pure Axel. And then we've got another Damn Racing WRX in Zuzu, who's 4.6 seconds from KZ.
Yeah, behind Zoo we have Tate, who ran quite long on those intermediate tyres, so now sitting down in 9th position and trying to do the best he can with the hand he's been dealt. Just behind Tate we have Scooter in the L-Plan Mitsubishi as well.
Yeah, it looks like Scooter's on some fresh hard tyres, so he'll be going to the end. In 11th place we've got DJ Stefko. He'll be going to the end. He's on hard tyres as well. And then you've got Dale Teeks in another Damn WRX.
Those damn WRXs are everywhere. And then of course we have Tombo, who's occupying a bit of space in the pit lane until the end of the race, and we'll see where he ends up. Looks like we've got Goat in the pits at the end of lap 16. So he's finally decided to jump in. Very interested to hear what tyres he comes out of the pits on. And having a look at the front of the field, we have Ando closing the gap on Fixer Chris, now just 1.1 seconds between them.
Yeah, just looking at Apex, he's only brought in 1.2 seconds off that 12-second gap, so it's 10.8 at the moment to Fixer Chris. Chris's tyres are starting to, or look like they are starting to fall off. But Ando's not looking too bad, so we've got, what, 13 and a half laps to go here.
Yeah, Ando has looked very good during the week in some of the practice races I've seen. So I think that's Fixer Chris into the pits there, and Ando will take the lead of the race here. And I think there's a very high chance of Ando just staying out and trying to use that gap that he has, and try and
I think so as well. Yeah, if I'm Ando, I'm definitely staying out. You got a chance at this stage of the race.
Yeah, 9.2 seconds the gap from Ando to Apex, so not too much between them.
If Oil does stay out as well, it might be a bit of a blocker for Ando, holding off Apex there. So, I mean, if I'm Ando, that's something that's in my mind as well. He's got to try and pass Apex, Oil in My Blood.
Yeah, and looks like Goat has just taken the spot off of Scooter 82 down in 9th and has some pretty good pace. He's purple lap at the moment, and he's just done an out lap of his 56.7, so he's flying around this track at the moment, chasing down the Nissan of Tate. Gets a very nice run out of that corner as well.
Yeah, Goat's been able to jump on the soft tyre instead of the hard here with only 12 laps left. He should be able to get to the end with fairly good tyre wear.
Beautiful line through that last corner to get a bit of a cutback on the Nissan of Tate, and he's going to have the inside for turn 1 here. Pulls it up beautifully, and there's nothing Tate can do at this point after about 9 laps on the tyres that he's on. Looks like that little battle has cost Goat the purple lap, though. He wasn't able to pull it in due to compromising his line through the final corner.
Yeah, unfortunately for Tate, I don't know. I think he might have to stop again. Those tyres are not great.
Yeah, it's a rough one there.
As he's got Scooter on his rear bumper now, getting a better drive out of that hairpin on the fresher tyres, he'll be able to take the inside line here and get past Tate quite easily.
Yeah, I think Tate's backed out of that one because that Nissan is a rocket ship in the straight line, so I think he might have let that pass happen, seeing that he just doesn't have the pace to hold off Scooter for too long.
Just looking at the gap between Apex and Ando, it's still at 9 seconds, and we've got just 11 laps to go here. Yeah,
so Apex not actually catching Ando too much. The downfall really of the all-wheel drives there is that front tyre wear really starts to kick in very early. 5.7 seconds the gap between Apex and Oil as well, who's putting on a hell of a performance here for 13R, filling in for the captain.
Yeah, it's good to see Oil back in Division 1. It was a regular in Division 1 last few seasons. And he's showing some real pace here tonight.
Yeah, Oily hasn't had the best running in the last couple seasons and has dropped down to Div 2, but Div 2 is getting ever so competitive now with the likes of Oil and Showman and some other really fast guys towards the top end of that field, so I feel like the top few from each could definitely be interchangeable with each division here.
Yeah, definitely. As we always say, it's not really Div 2, it's Div 1.5.
Yeah, it certainly is. Having a look, it doesn't look like there's too many people close together throughout the field, but I do spy Pure Axel and Dale, unfortunately, getting a lap put on him. I did say I wouldn't focus too much on him, but he looks to be a slipstream buddy with Pure Axel for the minute, does Dale. Pure Axel holding down 4th place, just 4.4 seconds behind Apex as well. So another thing to keep an eye on. Showing the two strategies are fairly even. Starting on that softer tyre has definitely put Pure Axel in a really strong position, having to make one less pit stop.
Yeah, and looks like Goat has taken that fastest lap with a 56.5. He's down in 7th and he's right on the rear bumper of Zuzu here. It looks like taking dive down the inside of the hairpin. Nicely done there.
That's about as clean a pass as you're going to see here. Late on the brakes up the inside into that corner, got it pulled up very nicely, left the room on the outside in case Zuzu was able to hold onto it. And took the position, and he is just streaming away. He has already pulled about half a second and is looking to chase down Fixer Chris, who is 2.8 seconds up the road.
Yeah, so that gap to Ando is now 7 seconds, or 6.9. Ando's tyres are definitely falling off, but can he hold out? He's got 7 laps to go once he finishes the start-finish line.
Yeah, definitely could be a very close finish at the rate that these are closing. So Ando on some very second-hand tyres, but by the time Apex catches up to Ando, if it happens, his tyres are not going to be looking too good either, so...
Yeah, Apex just needs to stay calm here and hit all his markers. He can see Oil and Ando up ahead. He just wants to stay calm and collected, make sure he doesn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, so Oil's lost about 2.7 seconds since last time we checked in with him to Apex. but isn't really losing that much time to Ando, so he's holding on to pace quite nicely, and if he can keep it clean, it's looking like he's on for a podium here. I don't know if there's much Pure Axle's going to be able to do.
Yeah, Oil's front left tyre is... he's almost completely gone. Quite worried for him, actually. Once that tyre goes, it's going to be very hard to turn in on any corner.
Yes, he is losing a lot of time to Apex on that lap. And the gap down to 5 seconds from Ando to Apex with 6 laps to go.
It could all come down to how hard is Oil going to defend here from Apex.
Yeah, and I'm sure that most of Div 1 would love to see Apex not take full points again.
Well, we can't let him clean sweep this season. Someone else has to win a race.
Yeah, and that's absolutely a danger. He very well could clean sweep the season at the pace he's been running. But I think this is the biggest threat we've seen to his clean record so far this season here. And it could all come onto the shoulders of a Div 2 driver in Oil in My Blood who's filling in at the moment. If he really defends that spot, that could cost Apex his win streak here.
So how do we think Ando is feeling at the moment? You think he's sweating bullets, seeing the time come down?
I don't know if he'll be seeing
the rear view mirror, seeing Apex there.
Yeah, look, if I'm Ando, I'm just looking forward. Yeah, see that. Not sure what the yellow's for. No. Oh, as Apex gets a big bit of. God, can you even get snap oversteer in an all-wheel drive car? He's managed to do it. I think we've got someone parked up on the inside of the back straight. If I'm having a look at the map. Oh, Oily sliding it through. I'm not sure who we've got parked up there. Apex having a look up the inside of Oily, approaching the last corner.
Oil closes the door, but Apex manages to get through.
Yes. Beautiful overtake there from Apex. Not much Oily can do, and that gap is now just 3 seconds with 4 laps to go. So he's pulling in a steady amount of time. Looks like whoever was parked on the infield has managed to get going again.
I wonder if that is an invisible Tombo.
Possibly, but I still saw Tombo in the pits, so I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
I do see Pure Axle and Fixer Chris in 4th and 5th, a lot closer together than they were before. So we could see Fixer Chris try and take 4th position from Pure Axle here in the last minutes of the race. As we come into the second last corner, I was going to say the hairpin, but that's half the track. And run onto the back straight here, approaching the final corner. The gap 6.3 of a second, apologies, 0.63 of a second between Chris and Oily as they round the final corner.
And Chris getting a good run out of that last corner there.
He's doing well, slowly closing that gap here. Looks to be taking a little bit of time out of him just on every corner overall. He's lost a bit of time in the run here to the next braking zone in the middle of the track. As the gap opens up to 0.6 of a second.
Ando getting very sideways there in the middle of the track. Those rear tyres, or all his tyres, are definitely on their last legs. He's got 2 laps after this one, and the gap is 1.6, 1.5.
And falling away very quickly. I'm sure we'll see a lot of time come out of it in this excruciatingly long right-hander to finish the lap down to 1.2, 1.1 seconds. That time is falling away very quickly, depending on the defensive performance that Ando can put on.
Ando goes deep there, loses a big chunk of time. I wonder how wide Ando can make that McLaren.
Yeah, it's been dubbed McLaren, has been called the, was it McLovin? by the team,
McLaren,
and
yeah.
the Group 3 is now known as McSlowan for him, but looks like he is... Oh, Apex has
Apex
run wide! The first mistake we've seen from Apex so far, and that gives Ando a little bit of breathing room as he just needs to get around the track one more time. 1.1 seconds to gap again, and Apex on some dirty tyres after his little excursion there. 1 second the gap now as we approach the final corner. Ando having an absolutely rough time getting it to turn in down to 0.7.
The times that Ando's been putting in 59s on those tyres is really commendable.
Oh, that gap closing up massively under brakes from Apex, now just 0.5 of a second, but Ando getting a very good exit. So Apex starting to push through the front tyres now, pushing a little hard, trying to get a really nice exit, and the front wheel drive...
gets a bit sideways there.
We can see massive amounts of wheel work going into that car as we're on board with him. Half a second the gap. Can Ando be the first to take away Apex's winning streak here as we approach the second last corner? He's right on his rear bumper.
Gives him a little bump to let him know he's there.
Oh, he's going defensive as well. There's nothing else you can do here, Ando. Here we go. Bring it to the inside of the track. Can Apex do it around the outside of the final corner?
Oh, they touched doors.
A little bit of contact made. He's looking for the cutback, and it's not happened. Ando is going to take the win here, I think. Ando has broken the win streak of Apex. Apex coming across the line in second. Oily comes home in third, with Pure Axel in fourth. Fixer Chris in fifth. Zoo is going to come home in 6th after a rough start. Goat in 7th with Scooter behind him in 8th. KZ rounding the final corner now. Not quite sure what happened to KZ during that one, but is going to come home in 9th position. We've got Tate rounding the corner here. Tombo is going to take 10th there. Tate on some very worn tyres. Put a little bit of handbrake in. We could see a flick across the room here, across the line there. And DJ Stefko coming home in 12th here in that Scirocco. And not the best track for the Scirocco, unfortunately, for Stefko. But
yeah,
Ando,
amazing race there.
Ando taking the win streak off of Apex.
I think he'll be ecstatic, especially during from coming to the race and taking the win. I mean, he was complaining quite a lot during the week about the McLovin.
Absolutely.
But yeah, congratulations, Ando.
Big congratulations to Ando, and we will end our little budget stream there as we've had success in getting Dodgy up and running again. So if you're looking for race 2, be sure to keep an eye out for the announcement on Discord, and we hope to see you over there on the Wheel to Wheel channel.